Hello, and welcome back to another episode. The lockdown continues. Here in the UK, at least, last night, the government announced that we are in for at least another 3 weeks of the current social distancing measures and protocols. And that means that we're at least halfway through what for some people is a very difficult marathon. I mean, it's quite difficult for me, but it's even more difficult for some of my friends I see on social media who are on such an emotional roller coaster from day to day, from hour to hour even. They may go from feeling really quite calm, happy, productive, creative. Maybe they've made something or baked something or done some entertaining thingamabob and put it on Facebook for everyone to enjoy. But then moments later, that they'll feel bad when they remember that they can't, for example, do what they want to do or they could do only a few weeks ago. For example, in my case, going to Whitley Bay, going to the beach where there's a nice stretch of sand and a promenade and an ice cream on a hot day with an onshore breeze, with a lovely dog and my amazing wife. Oh, I want to do that so much, but then I can't. And with that frustration, I think, can come a sort of void that other things rush in to fill that gap. I see people, I've talked to friends, Messenger and on Skype, where they feel as though they should be more productive. Well, I've done some tidying, but the house is still a mess, this kind of thing. Or they should be somehow in work, even though they've been asked to, or indeed ordered not to go to work. For example, my lovely wife at times feels very frustrated that she can't be in the hospital, but frankly she would be in the way. She has to work remotely, as much as it's difficult for her, but with it comes guilt, and also even the most lovely things get sort of twisted by that. So for example, the news of Captain Tom, an amazing 99-year-old gentleman who has raised, I think as of this morning, £18 million for the National Health Service. Now of course there are conversations to be had as to why a civilian has to raise that money as opposed to adequate taxation, so on and so forth, but nonetheless it's an amazing achievement, and I'm so happy that he's managed to do this. A very humble man, a symbol for people to sort of to gather around and cheer. But then yesterday I was talking to a friend who was like, but why aren't I should be doing that. Why aren't I doing more to raise? And I was like, what, raise £18 million for the, I think it was 16 million yesterday, £16 million for the NHS. So we have to be good to ourselves, and in that instance I was saying that it's okay just to survive the day, get through the day, and tomorrow start again, do something, or even this evening start again. And in those moments they are seeking peace and calm. I know I am. And oddly enough, my mind immediately goes to the Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles. Now, that's quite a it's quite a segue. But as I've talked about previously, the Turtles are so important to me in terms of emotional solace, shall we say. When we were going through some very difficult times when I was a kid, the character of Metalhead was a little reminder of stability and I suppose emotional coldness. I guess he wasn't fazed by anything because he was a robot, but because he was a robot he was reliable, and he was a little bit of a model for me to try and follow when I was a kid. If I ever got scared, I could just try and be like Metalhead, this kind of thing. But then, of course, with not only is there this sort of literal emotional sort of calming. I won't say numbness is the wrong word, calming. But also, I used to find drawing. I still do find drawing the Turtles very relaxing. Getting the shape of the bandana just right. I used to draw it all the time in primary school. The eyes, the particular roundness of the top of the head, and then also deciding on what sort of mouth they're going to have. Are they going to be smiling? Are they going to be grimacing? Is there a certain attitude I want to introduce? Is this Leonardo or is it Raphael? This kind of thing. I always found the turtles in various ways and engaging in various senses, calming and a place of emotional calm and solace. And as strange as that may sound, it's epitomised in probably my favourite panel of Turtles artwork from Tales of TMNT from Mirage Publishing, number 2, March 2004. In so much as it literally has a picture here of Leonardo meditating by a stream. And the first thing that I find striking about this image is he hasn't got his mask. His bandana is gone, and you go looking for it in the image. Well, I suppose before you go looking for it, first of all, you're like, that's what the turtle looks like without a mask on. Wow. But then you go looking for it, and you see that he's hung it on his swords that are resting on a rock. And then you notice that on the sword there's a mouse, and there's a bird on the handle of the sword. And all around him there's this urn, I think, of ashes that he's meditating with. There's a mouse on the reed to his right. He has found a calmness and a stillness in this image that is allowing nature to gather around him. And I love it. You feel it, actually. When the more you look at it, the more detail that you notice, the more... for example, I really appreciate that you have the very Japanese gateway, sort of garden, sort of gateway entrance there. But even it isn't fully a man-made structure or a turtle-made structure. It is naturalistic, but is reminiscent of something that's been put into a garden, into a formal space. So even the formal structure of this garden is breaking down as nature is surrounding Leonardo, and he is at peace. I love it. And obviously this is one of the reasons why in lots of religions icons are very important. They help us to focus our mind on something else outside of ourselves. And I don't know if it was intentional, but this image of a turtle meditating is something that I find, as I say, calming, but also meditative in its own right. The density of the artwork, actually, the cross hatching on the trees, the fact that there's just hints of maybe lizards in the grass, etc. In that image is a density that is mirrored in the rest of the comic. There are themes of nature and other things coming through in this story, but it sets the tone. And also, frankly, it reminds me of how beautiful the actual Turtles comics can be, particularly from Mirage themselves. And there we go. I don't know. I mean, hopefully this idea is useful to you. What do you do when you want to try and calm down? Do you have a Turtles comic that you turn to? Incidentally, I just thought I'd just share this with you. The other day I came across, I say the other day, obviously more than 3 weeks ago, I came across an IDW release. Obviously IDW got the license for Turtles a while ago. They did the Turtles Batman crossover, for example, which the second part I'm yet to review, or yet to talk about, because the first part I very much enjoyed. But yeah, this is IDW number 50. And what I liked about it, well, first of all, actually, in the opening pages, you do have Metalhead, which is quite cool. He turns up. I like it. So anything with Metalhead, I'm going to go for, without a doubt. Oh, there he is. The very first page. Wonderful. But also, actually, on the back of the book is a little Turtles 50 logo, which I quite liked. Quite elegant. Again, there's something about just figuring out how this motif goes together. The bandana, the eyes, the head shape, that I find very pleasing. I thought that's quite elegant, actually. Turtles issue 50, IDW. Anyway, hopefully this has been an interesting little reflection for you, and I would strongly recommend it. Just try and find, if you can, a moment in your life, a piece of artwork, or or it could be a vista in a computer game, anything like that, and live there for a moment. Just be there. And in this case, meditating with Leonardo by the river is, for me, extremely calming and helpful when I'm feeling that that tendency to be mean to myself, when it's the last thing that I should be doing right now. It's the last thing you should be doing right now as well. Well, being mean to me, but also being mean to yourself, of course. Thank you for watching. As ever, guys, until next time, do take care. Bye-bye.